Welcome to the deep dive. We're really getting into something fascinating today, something that touches every single one of us. The science behind falling in love, and maybe more importantly, building relationships that are actually healthy. Because let's be honest, for so many people, it feels confusing, right? Even like a constant struggle. So today, our mission is to unpack why it often feels that way, looking at how our minds, our brains, are actually wired for connection.
It really is a fundamental truth. Humans, well, we are essentially wired for love. And, that's not just some nice metaphor. It's a deep biological imperative. It's tied right into our survival, our well-being, connection, support, helping each other. Every cell, every organ, pretty much every system in our body is geared towards this. We're built for connection, fundamentally.
That's such a powerful idea, wired for love. But okay, if that's our default, why does it often feel so hard? Why do we seem drawn sometimes to negativity or, conflict, like all the political divides or even conspiracy theories?
Right, that's the paradox, isn't it? And it's fascinating. It's not some inherent dark side, not a flaw, this pull towards what feels off. It's actually a natural human drive. It's a drive to fix things, to restore balance, harmony. If something's toxic or just out of sync, it grabs our attention because it disrupts that natural state of love and connection we're wired for. We're instinctively driven to resolve that discord.
So our brains are kind of like harmony detectors.
Yeah.
Looking for what's wrong to try and fix it. But how does this work physically? You talk about the mind, brain, and body being deeply intertwined. It sounds like more than just thoughts in our head.
Oh, absolutely. From a psychoneurobiological view, your mind isn't just, the brain thinking. It's your sentience, your aliveness. It's your whole ability to experience, perceive, make meaning. It's like this, you could call it a biofield, in and around you, making your brain and body actually function. Your brain doesn't just work on its own. Your mind drives it.
The mind drives the brain. Okay. And you've explained before that every single experience we have using our mind, it literally creates a physical change in the brain. These thought trees, you call them. Can you unpack that a bit more?
Yeah, exactly. Think of them like actual physical structures, like intricate trees growing in your neural pathways. Every thought starts somewhere. That's the source. Then it grows roots. That's all the memories, the data linked to it. Then there's how you uniquely process it. And finally, your interpretation, the meaning you give it. All of that gets built physically into your brain. Healthy thoughts. They build like a beautiful garden, a rainforest, vibrant, supporting health. But toxic thoughts, built from difficult experiences, they create distorted, chaotic structures, like gnarled, unhealthy trees.
Okay. Physical structures. So if our thoughts are literally building things in our brain, what happens when those structures are, toxic? What does that do to our health, our relationships?
This is where it gets really impactful. When toxic thoughts form, your brain's immune system actually sees them as a threat, like a pathogen, a virus. It triggers an immune response. Inflammation, not just in the brain, but throughout the body. This is why we have body memory. Those physical aches or sensations tied to old emotional stuff. It goes even deeper. Down to the cellular level, inside microtubules, memories are stored as vibrations. Nobel winners like Sir Roger Penrose have explored similar ideas. These vibrations can be harmonious or not. Toxic thoughts create chaotic resonance, impacting your whole system. You literally feel old pain physically.
So these toxic thoughts are causing body-wide inflammation, messing with our cells. What's a long-term cost then for our relationships, our health, if we're carrying these unhealed thoughts?
Well, the impact is pretty stark, honestly. Research shows unresolved toxic thoughts can increase your vulnerability to disease by, get this, 35 to even 98% over time. They actually shorten your telomeres, those protective caps on your chromosomes. They impact key systems like your stress response. It weakens you, makes you more susceptible to illness, literally shortens your life at a cellular level.
98%, wow. And for relationships, you're saying if you don't heal these toxic thoughts in yourself, you basically can't have a healthy relationship going forward. That's a huge statement.
It's a direct consequence, really. If you don't deal with those core toxic beliefs, things like I don't deserve love, or I can't trust people, or maybe it's too good to be true. You will carry them into every new relationship. You'll find yourself constantly looking for something missing in you by trying to find it or fix it in someone else. But because the real issue is internal, nothing external can truly fix it. So you end up in the cycle of unfulfilling, often draining relationships. The key thing is, you genuinely have to change your relationship with yourself before you can change one with someone else. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not saying fix everything before dating. Some things only surface in a relationship. But the big stuff, the foundational issues, those need work.
Yeah, it really shifts the focus inward.
Yeah.
So this common thing of trying to fix our partner is that often just us projecting our own stuff. trying to fix ourselves through them.
Very often, yes. You really can't fix another person. You can support them, absolutely. But trying to change them, that usually leads to massive stress, chaos, constant conflict, because fundamentally it comes from a lack of acceptance. And that lack of acceptance, it's often fueled by some unhealed need or wound within you that you're projecting onto them. It shows up as nagging, controlling, always finding fault. It's rooted in that internal feeling of lack. And this applies across the board, any relationship dynamic.
Okay, this makes so much sense, which brings us to another huge influence,
Yeah.
our childhood. How much do the relationships we saw growing up, especially our parents, shape our own ability to love?
Oh, it's huge. Absolutely foundational. Your parents' relationship, whatever it looked like, becomes your primary model, your blueprint. It literally wires in patterns. Good ones, hopefully like affection, healthy ways to disagree, or negative ones, constant fighting, the silent treatment, maybe emotional abuse. And all of that directly impacts your ability to trust, to communicate effectively, to form secure bonds later on.
So if someone didn't have a great model growing up, maybe parents fought a lot or were divorced, are they kind of set up for difficulty?
Well, it can certainly mean more obstacles. You might struggle with deep mistrust, maybe find it hard to get past superficial connections because that core sense of safety just isn't there. Look, everyone carries some baggage from how they were raised. That's just part of being human. But here's the really hopeful part, especially if your childhood was tough. Not dealing with it. Yeah, that can set you up for failure, but actively processing it, healing those wounds, that actually sets you up for success. The power to change those patterns is absolutely in your hands.
That's incredibly empowering to hear. So what are some specific ways parental conflict, even if hidden, can impact kids without parents realizing?
Well, a big one is kids often internalize it. They think it's their fault, even when it has nothing to do with them. It's so crucial for parents to explicitly say, this disagreement is between us. It's not your fault. We still love you. We also see links sometimes between things like adult narcissistic traits and childhoods where maybe the person wasn't seen, wasn't validated, wasn't allowed to process emotions safely. That can lead to deep distrust, low self-worth, and then this compensating need for control. And of course, our basic attachment styles, how securely or insecurely we connect, are profoundly shaped by those early family dynamics.
So, thinking about parents listening now, how can they actively model healthy conflict resolution? How do we help wire in those positive patterns for our kids' futures?
This is so vital, and it's something my husband and I worked on consciously with our 4 kids. It was life-changing, honestly. If you argue, and couples, you have to model the repair, the resolution. Once things have cooled down, talk to your kids about it, age appropriately, of course. Explain what the disagreement was about, how you're working through it, and always, always reaffirm the love. Love for them, love for each other. Don't leave them hanging with that tension. We use a process called the neurocycle for this. It's a framework. First, identify the signals. What are you feeling, doing, sensing, thinking? Second, reflect. Why? What's the root? Third, externalize is write it down. Maybe even text each other calmly to get thoughts clear. Fourth, recheck. Look at potential solutions together. Fifth, practice new actions. Literally try the healthier way of interacting. And if you do this consistently, say over 63 to 66 days, you can genuinely rewire those old, unhelpful patterns and build new, healthy ones in your family.
That neurocycle process sounds incredibly practical.
Yeah.
Could you maybe walk us through a quick example? Like, let's say, a common argument about chores. How would that look using the steps?
Sure, okay. Let's take the classic who takes out the trash fight. Step 1. Signals. Partner A feels resentful, emotion, snaps, you never help, behavior. Stomach feels tight, sensation, thinks I do everything, perspective. Partner B feels attacked, emotion, shuts down, behavior, shoulders tense, sensation, thinks I try my best, nothing's good enough, perspective.
Okay, familiar territory for many, I bet.
Right. Step 2, reflect. Partner A realizes it's not just the trash, it's feeling unappreciated overall. Partner B sees their withdrawal isn't about laziness, but feeling defensive. Step 3, externalize. Maybe they agree to write down their feelings using I statements. When the trash overflows, I feel unseen and overwhelmed. When you snap, I feel defensive and want to retreat.
So getting it out of your head and onto paper or text.
Exactly. Step 4, recheck solutions. They brainstorm. A chore chart, designated days, maybe hiring help if possible. But also, how can they meet the underlying need feeling appreciated? Maybe verbal acknowledgments. Step 5, practice new actions. They try the new chore system. And crucially, they practice communicating differently, using I statements during disagreements, pausing before reacting, Over the 63 days, it starts to become the new normal.
That makes it really clear, thank you. So for someone listening who feels stuck in a difficult relationship right now, maybe it's lots of ups and downs or just feels draining, what are some immediate practical things they can do?
Right.
Assuming it's not an abusive situation, of course.
Right, that's a critical distinction. Assuming there's a mutual desire to improve things, there are 3 really vital steps. First, brain preparation. You have to calm your own system down first. Get out of that reactive, messy mind state where arguments just escalate. You need to shift into your wise mind.
Yeah.
This could be meditation, deep breathing. That 3-7 breath is great. In for 3, out for 7. Even 10 seconds helps. Pushes oxygen to the prefrontal cortex, calms the amygdala. Or exercise, going for a walk, just creating some space to cool down.
So resist the urge to sort it out right now when you're feeling chaotic, because that's often when we feel we have to talk.
You can try, but it's so much harder and usually less productive. It often just digs the negative trenches deeper. So calm down first. Second step, actively cultivate positive focus. This means intentionally bringing to mind good things, positive memories together, things you genuinely appreciate about your partner, your own strengths. This isn't just wishful thinking, it's a neurophysiological exercise. It activates resilience pathways in your brain, helps regulate your system. We are actually incredibly resilient.
Okay, calm down. Focus on some good. What's the third step?
Third, and this is key, allow yourself to be a mess, then manage the mess. It's okay to be imperfect. It's okay to feel angry, frustrated, hurt. Give yourself permission, give your partner permission, but then don't just stay in the mess. Analyze it. Use those neurocycle steps for yourself. What am I feeling? Sensing, thinking, doing. Write it down, recheck it. Plan some small, actionable steps. It's about acknowledging the mess, then proactively managing it within yourself. Then once you're in that calmer, wise mind state, you can approach your partner to build, not just react.
That idea of managing the mess. It links back to those core beliefs. You mentioned I don't deserve love as a particularly deep wound. Where does that tend to originate, and how can someone really start to heal that?
Yeah, that one's often rooted in those really formative adolescent years, say 12 to 18, experiences like rejection, being cheated on, serious bullying. Things that happen when your sense of self and relational identity are so fragile, they can implant that belief really deeply. Healing it isn't quick. It takes consistent work, often over multiple 63-day cycles of using these mind management techniques. You have to find the source experiences, process them, and actively, consciously rewire that belief with the truth of your inherent worth.
And for parents listening, wanting to prevent some of this, how early can we start teaching kids emotional processing skills?
Oh, incredibly early. You can start helping kids as young as 2 identify and name their feelings. You seem frustrated. Are you feeling sad? We developed a character, Brainy, toys and coloring books, precisely for this, to help young kids visualize their thoughts as these trees and learn simple ways to manage big feelings. My youngest patients were 2 and 3. It's amazing what they can grasp, and I strongly advocate for creating what I call a mind management space at home. Just a designated spot, a comfy chair, a corner with pillows where anyone, kids or adults, can go when they feel overwhelmed. A safe, non-judgmental zone to just feel and process. It's inspired by something amazing I saw in Zimbabwe called bench therapy, where elders just sat on benches, available to listen without judgment. It was incredibly powerful.
Mind management space, I love that. Shifting gears slightly, how do we support someone we love who is really struggling?
Yeah.
Maybe self-harming, deeply depressed. It can feel so scary and overwhelming for the supporter too, like you might drown with them.
It is incredibly difficult, and supporter burnout is so real. It's a vital question. 3 key things here. First, and this sounds counterintuitive maybe, but prioritize your own well-being. You have to put on your own oxygen mask first. Don't absorb all their pain. Caring for yourself isn't selfish. It's what allows you to offer sustainable support without breaking down yourself.
Well, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Oh, exactly. Second, just be there. Often the most powerful thing is presence. Don't jump in with advice unless asked. Don't shame them or push them to get over it.
Listen, offer quiet company. Maybe bring them food, help with practical things. Avoid those dismissive phrases. Just be a steady, non-judgmental presence. Third, find your own outlet. You need a safe space too. A trusted friend, a therapist, someone you can vent to about your own fear, frustration, and pain without burdening the person you're supporting. And finally, maybe the most important, validate with compassion. Listen to their story, their pain, without judgment. Even if it seems illogical to you, it's their reality. Apologize if you've unintentionally hurt them. Be strong enough to hear hard truths. Offer consistent, loving support. That deep, non-judgmental validation is incredibly healing.
That's incredibly helpful advice for such tough situations. Thinking about more common everyday relationship struggles, what about things like insecurity or jealousy? Where do those usually stem from? Are they just personality flaws? No, not inherently flaws. Again, pretty much everything that impacts us negatively, emotionally, relationally. It's coming from something we've experienced. Some thought tree that got wired in a toxic way. Developing that lifestyle of mind management helps you catch these things. You start to notice, oh, there's that pang of jealousy, or oops, that was sarcastic. Where did that come from? You observe it.
And we can observe it, catch that jealousy or insecurity bubbling up. What's the best way to handle it? What's the antidote?
Okay, here's something really powerful. The act of genuinely celebrating someone else's success, lifting them up without jealousy, actually benefits your brain. It increases your intelligence, improves brain health physiologically. Conversely, things like envy, jealousy, bitterness, resentment, they literally physically eat you from the inside out. They contribute to inflammation, disease risk, dementia, and deep loneliness. So when you feel that tinge of jealousy, acknowledge it. Okay, I'm feeling jealous right now. It's okay to be messy. Then use the neurocycle. Find the source. Why am I feeling this? What belief is being triggered? And work through it. Proactive mind management. And this connects to a broader point about mental health dialogue. We need to shift away from just labels, which often increase stigma. Instead of asking, what's wrong with you, or labeling someone, try asking, can you describe what you're experiencing? Listen to their story. Connect human to human. That's how we create truly safe spaces, healthier partnerships, healthier communities. We need more genuine listening and less judgment.
Wow. We've covered so much today. From understanding that we're biologically wired for love, to seeing how our thoughts literally shape our brain and body, to the incredible impact of our childhood models, and most importantly, those really practical, actionable steps we can all take to heal ourselves and build better connections. And for anyone wanting to dive deeper into applying these steps, I really do recommend checking out the resources we discussed. How to help your child clean up their mental mess and cleaning up your mental mess. We'll link to those for you. So here's a final thought to leave you with today. Maybe true greatness isn't about achieving some perfect external status. Maybe it's simply about cultivating a good, honest relationship with yourself. Because it's that internal alignment, that self-awareness that allows you to access your own wisdom and navigate life's messiness with resilience, even while you're still figuring things out. So after hearing all this, thinking about how experiences get wired into our very being, what's one pattern, maybe just one, that you feel ready to start rewiring to cultivate more genuine love for yourself and in your relationships?